Hello, I'm Heather Buller with Concordia University's MBA590 Strategic Management course with Dr. Kurt Beck. I will be presenting some strategies to Wynn Resorts Limited on how to improve their business. So, as you know, Wynn was formed in 2002 with five high-end properties in both Las Vegas and China, the most recent of which opened this past August, a $4.2 billion project called the Palace. So, as you know, Wynn is focused on repeat business. So they really strive to present a good customer experience, 5-star service. You've won many awards in that area. And then staff is very focused on presenting those luxury services. So far, it looks like I've seen a forward integration strategy. So shifting focus really to the VIP experience, really playing off that clientele that comes in, the high rollers, spending a lot of money, not only in casinos and table games, but also the amenities, the golf, spa services, etc. So some ethical issues that have come up in the past. 2010, we saw some not great publicity about taxes and insurance on Mr. Wynn's personal art collection being used by the casinos, and then private use of the aircraft costing shareholders over $300,000. And then Mr. Okada, as we all know, has been in the media for influencing government regulators, and then also using some competing against some of the Wynn properties with his Philippines casino. So recently, a plan came out to develop a 38-acre man-made lake in Nevada. It does focus on water conservation. Just think maybe the timing is a little off with Nevada being in a drought. Some better alternatives might be, instead of either golf is already there, of turning it into a man-made lake, maybe looking at some other alternatives that aren't so maybe ethically questionable. So the ethics code was just recently amended in August. It's an 11-page document that, as you can see here, really focuses on some of the issues that have already occurred. I think a better solution would be taking a more proactive approach, maybe truth in lending and advertising, some of the operational issues, instead of a lot of extensive focus on things that have already happened. So you can see here the 5 forces analysis. There's a lot of competition in Las Vegas, and Macau competition is growing as well. China is working on a bridge to go over to Macau, which should be done in 2020, I believe, which will obviously drive a lot of tourism over to Macau. So competition will pick up even there, but also the threat of new entrants is low, with it being so expensive to start a resort. But the bargaining power of consumers and the threat of substitute products, there's some risk there. So states in the United States are getting some more legislation to offer their own gambling, their own casinos. So maybe not everybody will travel to Las Vegas for that experience. And then, of course, consumers really control the revenue. So if there's a change in discretionary income to the market, to the economy, you will see that there will be a large effect. So the external factor evaluation matrix, the EFE, you can see opportunities and threats here. The economy is improving. Macau has high-stake gamblers or opportunities. I touched on the bridge. The U.S. casino industry is expected to grow because of international travel to the U.S. Then some threats, policy decisions could affect the Macau business. There's a plan for another casino in Las Vegas in 2018. So then if we move on to the SWOT analysis, Combining those turns them into some SO strategy, ST strategies, etc. So things like increased marketing of restaurants and clubs each quarter in Las Vegas, developing property in Massachusetts, which when you were already doing, focusing marketing and incentives to high rollers and table games, considering raising prices in Macau, promoting the amenities, some other opportunities, perform a detailed evaluation of operational costs, and then maybe looking at a cost to supplementing with online gaming through an app. So the competitive profile matrix, if you take a look here, so Wynn is exceeding both Caesars and MGM, maybe not so much in finance just because of size, but with physical environment, customer loyalty, etc., you can see they really are the respected casino and resort. So the IFE matrix, some of the strengths, table game winning percentage is higher than the market average. Obviously, that's a big strength. People want to gamble and win. The Wynn Macau Encore continues to be the only resort in the world with 7 5-star awards, so that's something you can really play off of. And then casino expenses actually decreased 30%. So there's a lot of good opportunities there. Some weaknesses, obviously starting these new growth projects may not be as successful as previous properties. Casino revenue is declining or has declined. And then obviously there's always risks with developing construction. And then of course, Mr. Okeda's investigation. So the Boston Consulting Group matrix, the dog here is really casino revenue. You're really at risk with the economy when it comes to that area. So there are big effects each year on how that performs. Food and beverages are really the star. So there's a lot of opportunities there to expand. So you can see here from the space matrix that really in a competitive industry, taking an aggressive response to it. So you can see here that the stability position is a negative 5.4, but the industry position is a 4. So the QSPM, when you look at two strategies, so investing in Las Vegas marketing and investing in Macau marketing to increase business from VIPs and high rollers, Macau, with their focus on that market, seems like it would be the obvious choice. But as I work through the weights here, you can see that Las Vegas is actually the winner, and by a small margin, but still the winner. So doing the 3-year financials, you can see some of the ratios. So to point out, current ratio isn't bad, it's pretty consistent. The bigger concern here is the debt to equity ratio, and this has to do with all of the long-term debt, so the aggressive growth strategy that's been taken, and no dividends to shareholders. So you can see stock prices here. So some strategic performance. So in 2014, David and David report that the market capacity was 16 billion. Las Vegas Sands was the only competitor to exceed that with a market capacity of 48 billion. So for revenue, Wynn is behind all three, Las Vegas Sands, MGM, and Caesars, but their net income is still in second place behind Las Vegas. So some areas for improvement, really, this aggressive growth strategy really lacks a tactical plan. Although there's a strategy, the question remains, how are you going to get there? So the recommendation is to expand customer experience in clubs and casinos. So I would start off with investing in paid customer placement at table games and clubs. So what this means is when someone walks into a casino and there's not many people there, it seems a little dead. People move on. They want to be where the people are, where it's exciting, where the action is. So if you do some analysis to those times and where there's potential for peak traffic, you can pay employees to actually play at the table games, be in the clubs, etc., and then find a balanced population. You don't want it to be crowded, but you want it to seem busy so that it seems fun and people want to stay. They want to be where other people are having fun. A second idea is to invest in celebrity sightings. So pay actors and musicians to appear in the casino and clubs. So people want to go home from Las Vegas and say, hey, guess who I saw when I was there? Guess what we did? So by paying these celebrities to come in, and then if they're musicians performing an impromptu concert, this would really encourage people to come in. You never know who you might see. That's where all the famous people hang out, and you could really boost your revenue from that. So, just give me 1 minute. So another recommendation, free amenities with rooms to encourage occupancy. So there's a perceived increased value with a free massage, round of golf, or restaurant voucher. Gambling is really the same from casino to casino. You're going to spend, the same amount of money at a roulette table kind of no matter where you are. So amenities can be the differentiator. It can be the catalyst to increase occupancy and spending. If you're spending $300 a night on a room, you won't feel like you're spending $300 a night if there's a round of golf included or if there's a dinner voucher. And then the final recommendation, so property updates. Really to come up with a strategic plan on how these rooms will be updated, how often, what changes will be made to the property. So to keep people coming back, you really need to keep it new and fresh. So being proactive, creating the newest and best experience. Hey, have you seen what they did at the Wynn this year? Those types of things. So here are the forecasted ratios and financials. So you can see coming up in 2016, profit will increase about 12.5% due to 4 months of revenue from the Palace opening in August. So receiving those 4 months. And then a 2.7% increase of cost of goods sold due to marketing efforts. And then some other things to point out, so maintaining payments on land opportunities, 8 months of construction, so accounts and construction payables will go down, and then long-term debt, as revenue comes in, we can pay down some of that and decrease that at 3%. And then here you can see the forecasted ratios and financials due to those numbers. So reviewing Wynn strategy and evaluation, I have not seen a updated IFE and EFE to do a comparison, but so there's an opportunity there. One thing that is good, setting and analyzing goals for property development. So Wynn does a nice job of evaluating where their growth plan is, how it's going, what course of action needs to be corrected. But where I'm not seeing it is any operational changes are not published due to those changes. So in summary, develop marketing strategies for differentiations such as celebrity support, placement, staff, and concerts. Drive occupancy with free or greatly reduced amenities. Build a plan for continuous property improvement, and then continue to analyze, assess, and adjust. Thank you very much.